learned from a gentleman who is a future technologist who said, it's important to start with the certainties, take out the uncertainties, right? So think of it this way, there are hard trends and there are soft trends. The hard trends represent statements of fact about the future. These are things that you know will happen in the future because they are based on trends now that are going to emanate in what you can clearly see will be in the future. And so you identify these hard trends and then you figure out how to take advantage of them. Now, how do you take advantage of them? You try and derive a number of soft trends. They are soft because they are malleable. So you can make interventions or changes to how they come out. You can insert yourself into a soft trend because it's not certain. It's what you can actually make happen, but they are linked to the hard trends. So I'm going to suggest a couple of hard trends and then a number of short trends which, especially from my perspective of the world, which is a limited engineering perspective, what I can see. So 2 hard trends. One is that connectedness is increasing. People are increasingly connected. Devices are increasingly becoming interconnected, which is generally called IoT, the Internet of Things. And then also devices are interconnected with people. So people, devices, highly connected, interconnected, right? So try and have a picture of this as increasingly we can reach each other and we are also connected via devices and machines that are themselves interconnected. And this connectedness is enhanced and enabled by high-speed data networks that are getting faster and increasingly ubiquitous. Trend 2. This is a very African trend, very specific. So global population growth, projections are that almost 50% of actual population growth over the next 20 to 30 years will occur from Africa, across the African continent. And the current situation, which determines what the future is in a certainty, is that 6 out of 10 Africans are under the age of 24. That suggests that if you raise the bar to about the age of 34, it's probably 7 out of 10 Africans, right? So now if you invert that into the future, what it suggests is that 20, 30 years from now, the people who would represent us on this stage would be greater than us in a ratio of 7:3. So the hard trend is that you will have that widening of the potential workforce exploding at that point. That's known. Now, here's the fun part, the soft trends. That is, what can businesses become in our part of the world, in Ghana specifically, in the future because of these 2 hard trends. Hard trend 1, high connectedness, people, devices, interconnected. Hard trend 2, population explosion relative to the future based on the fact that 6 out of 10 people are under the age of 24. So the first soft trend is this network is going to be there. Literally everybody on the globe is going to be interconnected somehow. People to people to people to people, people to devices, devices to devices to people. And if you can build the infrastructure to access this global network of people and devices, then you can render services globally, remotely from where you are. Because it's connected, it's available. What you need is the infrastructure to reach it. And it's not just wired bandwidth. It's software APIs that you control that can plug into this global connected platform and render services into it, right? So what Ghanaian businesses need to be building, and it connects to the second soft trend, I'll explain that in a bit, is A, the infrastructure to connect into this global highly connected network to render services globally, and then the skills to be able to work with those future software interfaces, by the way, which include virtual reality interfaces, which means you can literally remotely be present in a room and interact with somebody and render service to them. Think of medical diagnosis, think of teaching. Those are two key areas: education, health. Now let's connect to soft trend 2. The second soft trend is basically related to the infrastructure. Now, if we can actually, it's related to the population growth. Now, it's not automatic that when 6 to 7 out of 10 Africans who are today under the age of 24 are now the cream of the working population age, it's not automatic that they will be well educated enough. They are not enough Ashesi universities yet. It's not automatic that they'll be well educated enough to be this highly skilled workforce that can plug into the global interconnected network and render services globally. So the soft trend is how businesses will position to develop these skills, right? And developing these skills now, we're talking about today's population under 24. So you're talking about from primary school intervening, secondary schools, and ultimately tertiary institutions to build the infrastructure, to develop this workforce that will be huge. It's referred to in developmental terms as the demographic dividend windfall. So Africa will have this windfall of a large potential working force. The key is that their skills would need to be developed, appropriate to people who can actually plug into this global network of connected people and devices and render high value services.